The ancient Egyptians lived in a desert land. It was hot and dry, but a great river flowed through the land. This was the Nile River. The Nile gave life to Egypt. Without the Nile, there would be no Egypt. The river provided everything the Egyptians needed. It was the source of their food and water. It was also a way to transport people and goods. The Nile flooded every year. This flood was important. It brought rich soil to the land. This soil was perfect for growing crops. The Egyptians called their land Kemet, which means black land. This name came from the dark, fertile soil left by the Nile floods. The Nile was essential for agriculture in ancient Egypt. The Egyptians used the fertile land along the river to grow crops. Wheat and barley were staple foods. The Egyptians developed sophisticated irrigation systems. These systems helped them to water their crops even when the Nile was low. They used canals and ditches to direct the water to their fields. The Nile was also a major transportation route. Boats sailed up and down the river. They carried people, goods, and even heavy stones for building. The river connected the different parts of Egypt. The vast deserts surrounding the Nile Valley were not empty wastes. They provided the ancient Egyptians with valuable resources. The deserts were a source of protection. The harsh desert environment acted as a natural barrier against enemies. The Egyptians also mined the deserts for gold, copper, and other minerals. These resources were used to make tools, weapons, and jewelry. The deserts also provided building materials. Limestone and sandstone from the desert were used to construct temples, tombs, and pyramids. These structures stand today as a testament to the skill of the ancient Egyptians. The ancient Egyptians were skilled architects and builders. They used the natural resources available to them to create impressive structures. The most famous of these are the pyramids. The pyramids were built as tombs for the pharaohs. The Egyptians believed that the pharaohs would continue to rule in the afterlife. They built the pyramids to last for eternity. The pyramids were made of huge blocks of limestone. These blocks were quarried in the desert and transported to the building site. The Egyptians also used papyrus reeds from the Nile to make paper, boats, and even sandals. Nature provided everything they needed.